Hi there, in this video I'll be showing you how to create that classic walkie-talkie sound effect from scratch. I actually had a request from a viewer who left a comment on a video asking if I could show how to design this, that classic soldier walkie-talkie sound. So with that said, we're going to jump into Reaper shortly and I'm going to show you exactly the final product, and then I'll walk you through from scratch how I used it, how I designed it, the two key plugin effects that you need to be able to create this sound effect. So with that said, let's get into Reaper and get going. All right, so here we are inside of Reaper, and the first thing I'd like to do is play you the original audio, and then I'll play you my redesign, and then we'll go from scratch so you can design this for yourself if you'd like.
Plus 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Over. That's negative. Plus 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Over. That's negative.
All right, so that's the original, and now the redesign.
Plus 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over. That's negative. Plus 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over. That's negative.
All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to duplicate this track here so I can get that original audio file here, and I'm actually going to clear everything that I used for this, and we're going to start from scratch. All right, so this is where I started off from, just me recording my voice. It sounds like this. Goes 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Over. That's negative. Right, so nothing special there, not a good voice artist, but you get the idea. And here, just so we know here, I have a little sound effect that I took from my sci-fi UI pack. I kind of just dropped it in there for that beep of the walkie-talkie. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to do personally is add a little bit of heat to my sound, a little bit of presence. So what I did is I added a bit of distortion. It's very, very light distortion, more like saturation. So I had this right here. This is Kilohertz Shaper here, and I just put a little bit on here. That's what it sounds like this. Goes 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Over. It just makes it a little bit warmer. After that, I added some OTT, and this was really to kind of flatten out the frequencies a little bit. So I kept, I brought down the upward. I didn't want any upward compression here, and then I brought down the depth down to about like 10% here. Very, very minimal. It's just a touch. So if we play it now. Goes 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Over. That's negative. Goes 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Over. Right, so it's just not very audible. What I do here, though, is that it's bringing out a bit more of those higher frequencies. All right, the next part, and this is where the majority of the actual design happens here. I did it all inside of Snapheap. You don't have to do it in here, but you can use the same kind of effects that I used to create this sound. So the first thing I did here is, again, I added a bit more distortion. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to stick it in here for now. I think I had this one, and it's, again, very light, just maybe 1 or 2 dB, just like this. Goes 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? And I just brought down the mix quite a bit. Goes 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Okay, now the next thing is a bit crusher, and this is what is going to give you that classic walkie-talkie sound, right? So this is going to give you that sound characteristic, and there's a few things that you want to play around with here. One is the DAC Q. So if I don't turn this on,
Goes 39 to ground. Yep.
right, it sounds very kind of robotic, but if I turn it up,
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
so you can find a kind of a sweet spot, either up to 100% or around 90. That's where I had it. And then after that, I like to keep my quantize all the way up, and then we're going to play it around with the bits and the dither. So let's have a listen.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
Right, so that's what's adding that noise to it. And now how much of that do we want? So if I add more,
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
or less.
That's negative. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
Right, so that to me sounds pretty good. I like that mix right there. After that, you can play around again here with the hertz or the kilohertz or where you want it to sit.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
I found that around 6 to 7K is pretty good. I'm going to keep it around here though.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
After that, it's just a matter of adding the filters. So that's going to give it the bit crushing is going to add that noise, and then the filter is going to be able to shape our sound here. So I'm just going to do a bit of a tighter slope. I'm going to put it to around 1.8 here.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
And I'm going to do another filter here for the lower frequencies. Same thing, slope to 2. And the frequency cutoff here, I'm going to put it around 500, 550.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
Right, after that, it's just a matter of adding some effects to taste. So I decided to go for Spectre to add a bit of warmth here in the mids.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over. That's negative. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight? Over.
After that, I added a smart limiter. This is a limiter by Sonable, and basically I just wanted to kind of crush the sound. I didn't want it to sound so dynamic.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight. Over. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight. Over. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight. Over.
Now that sounds good, but you can start to hear some artifacts, which is the artifacts in the low end. There's a lot of that kind of bumping and thumping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an EQ here, and I'm just going to cut that out here, maybe like this.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight. Over. Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight.
And I can even duplicate that just to make sure we're getting everything.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight. Over.
And then just another limiter here. I'm just going to duplicate it just to make sure that we are not peaking or anything.
Goes 39 to ground. You have target in sight. Over.
And there you go. That is how you can create that walkie-talkie sound. All right, so that's it for this video. Hope you liked it, found it useful, valuable. If you have a video request or a certain type of sound that you're struggling to make or that you would like to see how to create, let me know. I might get to it and I might actually make a video about it. So leave it down in the comments below. And if you want to see another video where I do some sound design, I'll make sure to have one up here that I think you might like. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.